Rain poured down on the marble steps of the Grand Hyatt Hotel, washing away the footprints of people too rich to notice the storm. Amara stood there, drenched, clutching the hem of her faded blue dress, a dress she'd borrowed from a friend just to look like she belonged in that glittering world inside. Her eyes darted toward the glass doors where laughter, champagne, and chandeliers sparkled. Inside, her ex-boyfriend, Ryan, was celebrating his engagement, to someone rich, someone perfect. Someone who wasn't her. Her heart pounded. She shouldn't be here, but she had to return something, the necklace Ryan's mother had once given her. She told herself she just wanted closure. But deep down, she wanted him to see her, just once more. When she stepped inside, heads turned. Not because she looked stunning, but because she clearly didn't belong. The shimmer of her wet dress and trembling hands gave her away. Ryan saw her immediately, and smirked. "Amara," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "What are you doing here?" Whispers filled the room. Ryan's fiancée laughed under her breath. "Oh, this is awkward." Amara's throat tightened. She held out the necklace with shaking fingers. "I just came to return this. That's all." Ryan chuckled cruelly. "Still hung up on me, huh? You could have mailed it." Her face flushed red. "No, I just wanted." But before she could finish, Ryan turned his back to her, laughing with his fiancé and friends. Tears burned in Amara's eyes. And then, she said something she hadn't planned to say, something that would change everything. She looked toward the entrance, and the first person she saw was a tall man in a black tailored suit, sharp, calm, powerful. It was Ethan Cole, the CEO of one of the largest tech firms in the country, the kind of man you only saw in magazines or on the news. He had just walked in, invited by the same social circle Amara once belonged to through Ryan. And before her courage could break, she ran to him and whispered, trembling, "Please, act like you love me." Ethan stopped. His deep gray eyes searched hers, eyes full of questions, but also something softer. He didn't ask why. He didn't hesitate. He slid an arm around her waist, pulled her close, and said loud enough for the crowd to hear, "Sweetheart, I told you not to run off without me." The entire room froze. Ryan turned around, confusion flashing across his face. "Wait, what?" Ethan looked straight at him. "I believe you're Ryan. I've heard so much about you." Then, turning to Amara, he brushed a strand of wet hair from her cheek. "You okay, love?" The word love echoed through the hall like a soft thunder. Ryan's smirk vanished. His fiancée looked like she'd swallowed glass. And Amara. She stood speechless, heart racing, tears now mixing with rainwater. Ethan guided her toward a corner table, shielding her from everyone's eyes. When they finally sat, he whispered, "Now, tell me what's really going on." Amara broke. She told him everything. About Ryan, the breakup, how he'd humiliated her, how she'd just wanted to give back the necklace and leave quietly. Ethan listened. He didn't interrupt, not once. When she finished, he leaned back and smiled softly. "You didn't need to pretend. But I'm glad you asked me to." "Why?" she whispered. "Because," he said, "sometimes, a small act can save someone from drowning in their own pain. And I've been there too." That night, he walked her home. No fancy cars, no cameras, just two strangers who somehow understood each other. Days turned into weeks. Ethan started showing up, bringing her coffee before work, helping her with job applications, encouraging her to believe she could rebuild her life. Amara, once the girl humiliated in front of everyone, began to shine again. She got a job in Ethan's company, not because of pity, but because she earned it. Months later, at a charity gala she helped organize, Ryan showed up again, this time alone. He looked around, searching for the girl he'd once mocked. And there she was, confident, smiling, standing beside Ethan. Ryan walked over awkwardly. "Amara, you look different." She smiled politely. "I am different." Ryan glanced at Ethan, then at her hand resting in his. "So, was it real?" "Back then." Ethan squeezed her hand gently, letting her answer. Amara looked Ryan in the eyes and said, "It started as an act, but it became the most real thing in my life." Ryan swallowed hard and walked away, carrying the weight of a regret he couldn't undo. Ethan turned to her and said, half joking, "So, do I still need to act like I love you?" Amara smiled through tears. No, not anymore. He brushed her cheek, eyes warm and full of something deeper than words. Good. Because I never was acting. The crowd around them cheered as they walked onto the stage to accept an award for their charity, one that helped women rebuild their lives after heartbreak and hardship. In the end, it wasn't just love that saved her, it was kindness, the courage to ask for help, and the heart of a stranger who decided to care.